I'm Rabbi Patrick, and welcome to Kihila. I'm going to let you in on a secret, guys. I'm going to tell you about my second date with the Rebbetzin when we were young and full of hope. It was a simpler time. Let's start with our opening kavanah. This comes from the Book of Esther in honor of Purim. And, maybe you're about to take a nap and you're being lulled asleep by my beautiful voice, which isn't all that beautiful. Or you just need a break, right? You're sitting on the couch like, oh, I'll listen to this. Maybe this just popped on your phone and you're knee deep in spreadsheets. I don't know why you'd be knee deep in spreadsheets, but maybe you're knee deep in spreadsheets. You're like, I gotta listen to something while I do whatever amazing finance thing I do. I don't know, whatever your thing is, whatever brought you here. Thank you. Because you have a lot of options in podcasts. And you have a lot of options in Jewish communities, and you choose this one. That means a lot to me. So, deep breath in. Feel planted in the world with an exhale. And here we go. Umi yodea im la'et kazot higaat l'malchut. Which means, who knows? Perhaps you have come to royal position for such a time as this. Esther, chapter 4, verse 14. Okay, I know it makes no sense. I know that some of you are like, why don't you have some like, may the Shekhinah dwell within the universe of ye? I know I can do all that woo-woo stuff. And I listen, and I'm a woo-woo guy. I really am. Like in my heart, I am a woo-woo guy. But I kind of like to do a weird setup. And then at the end, it's all going to make sense. It's like a magic trick. So, second date ever went on with Rebbetzin. She came to my apartment. I promise it wasn't scandalous. She drove a long way to get there, though, because we lived in different cities. So we hung out on the couch and we watched the movie Inglourious Basterds. The Tarantino one, where, I'm going to do spoilers. I'm going to give it away. That movie was a long time ago. So basically, Hitler dies in a movie theater. And a group of Jewish soldiers basically rewrite World War II with like knives and fire and vengeance. And it's almost like kind of Ocean's 11-ish. It's violent. It's over the top. It's absurd. Kind of interesting. There were some cultural things I learned in that movie about the Germans in Europe that actually I didn't know. Maybe it's nonsense. Maybe you made it up. I'm not sure. It's Tarantino. He can do whatever he wants. But yeah, that's what we did. We watched that. We probably ate Chipotle or something like really uninteresting. But yeah. So Rebbetzin came over. We watched Inglourious Basterds when we were young and full of hope. And this movie, it's like a really absurd. It's also deeply satisfying. And that last part, right? That's the uncomfortable one. Because part of you watches this and you think, yeah, like there's something therapeutic about that, right? Catharsis. History doesn't usually go that way for us. Jews don't usually get the last scene with power. Tarantino gives a kind of revenge fantasy. It's not realism. It's not about ethics. It's fantasy. And here's the thing. You're probably going to catch on to this. The Bible already did that. There's a South Park episode called The Simpsons Already Did That, and this was years and years ago, and they made fun of the fact that they couldn't come up with anything in the writer's room that The Simpsons hadn't already done. And I saw an interview with Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, and they said, yeah, we have that problem now, but it's us. Like, it's us remembering, like, oh, we already did an episode about that. Yeah, so this is one of those, the Bible already did it. So let's get into it. So if you read the Book of Esther straight through, without the cute, like children's book carnival costume filter, it's actually very intense. A royal decree goes out authoring genocide. The Jews are scattered, we're vulnerable, we're politically powerless, and then the whole thing flips, right? It's the big reveal at the end, right? Esther risks everything. Mordecai refuses to bow. The king can't sleep. The villain is the one who builds the gallows that he gets hung from, is the bad guy Haman. Boo, right? We boo Haman, the Agagite. His sons are executed. I guess I'm giving you the spoiler at the end of this too, but oh well. And we're given permission to defend ourselves. And it lists the names of the people we kill. Right? 75,000, I believe. It's not subtle. It's not sanitized. It's a revenge fantasy. And it's also, you might want to think of it as like a reversal fantasy, right? Who has power and who doesn't. A friend of mine who used to go by the name Yenta Punker, she she said, if you think about it, a lot of these types of movies, books, stories are about an inversion. And one of the interesting things about carnivals is that oftentimes you will see a clown whose body shape is inverted. It's almost like looking in a funhouse mirror where like their chest area is really skinny, and then you go down and it's like they've got almost like a hula hoop, right, around their waist, right? So it's all about this inversion, topsy-turvy, right? It's another way to think about it. Think about a carnival ride. Most rides you just go straight, but this takes you up and down and up and down, defying physics, right? Or at least the physics we live by as we're standing and walking and running, right? So all of this stuff, like the carnival-esque nature of Purim when we celebrate it, the fact that we celebrate this really violent story, but it's like a kid's thing, right? The fact that it's about an oafish king who claims he has power, but then in the end kind of doesn't really have power. He like undid his own power. Haman, the bad guy, builds his own execution chamber, right? Like all of these things are about overturning or flipping, reversal, all of that. It's what if we win this time? What if the decree does get overturned? What if the people who tried to erase us are the ones who get erased, right? If Tarantino had written a biblical book, it might look like Esther, exaggerated, theatrical, gleeful in the turnaround, and then we made it a holiday. So Purim, like real Purim, is wild. We boo the villain, we cheer the heroes, we dress in costumes. We drink enough so that we're not supposed to sort of know the difference between blessed is Mordecai and cursed be Haman, which that's a lot. If you go through Israel on Purim, you'll see people with like bottles of booze that they're hiding and they're like pouring shots for people. It's a lot. We do other things too. We give money to the poor. We send food. We make these gift baskets, these shlach manot, or mishloach manot. And, we give these out to people. You can buy them online, and of course, Amazon will ship them. Or you can do it with us where we make them together. So I'll talk about that at the end. It's kind of a fun tradition we have. But in any case, we hear the Megillah being read, and it's like community theater, and it's chaotic on purpose because it's all about this flipping, right? Everything flips. Power flips, fortune, identity. It all turns inside out and upside down. And I think part of what we're celebrating there isn't violence. It's relief. The story could have and historically has ended with Jewish annihilation, and Esther doesn't, and that matters. But of course, there's a tension. Judaism's not a revenge religion. When the Egyptians drowned in the sea in the Exodus, the angels are said to have been singing, and they're basically saying what God is thinking, which is, my creations are drowning. Why are you singing? We spill wine at Passover to diminish our own joy. We're told not to rejoice when an enemy falls. So what exactly are we doing on Purim? Are we celebrating death? Are we contradicting ourselves? Are we taking a violent story and then glossing it over with, no, it's a kid's party? I don't think so exactly. I think Purim is honest, and it's something that I think we tend to hide, which is that oppressed people fantasize about reversal. That is human. There's something psychologically necessary about imagining that you're not always the victim. Esther gives diaspora Jews a story where we are not passive. Now, the holiday doesn't command us to reenact violence. And I always get worried that people think that that's what Purim is about. It's not. What do? We take a violent story and we use it as a vehicle for generosity, giving food, giving money, laughter, joy, simcha, right? Joy, right? Leaning into joy is the Jewish perspective. Everyone says, oh, it's Zurus and Oy vey, and but no, right? I get it. We play everything in minor key. Anytime there's a Jewish thing, like somehow there has to be a violin playing what sounds like Kol Nidre, right? Like at all times, right? I get it. But this is about leaning into joy. God is a God of war, yes, but God is also a God of joy. Um, the story imagines destruction, but our practice demands care. So yeah, so there's a little bit of Tarantino in the Bible, but the point isn't the blood. It's about the survival and surviving enough that we can have our children play together, right? Let's talk about Israel for a minute. Things ain't so good. Um, you know, people meaning like nations aren't their government, right? People are people. They're just trying to get through the day, right? They just want to make sure their kids get to school on time. They want to make sure that the business is going to survive. They're dealing with different kinds of circumstances in different ways. And at the end of the day, what governments do, yes, elections have consequences. And in democracy, you have the advantage that you can always switch to someone else and hope that they're not as bad as the last guy. But at the end of the day, things aren't going well in a lot of different ways. If you're an Arab in the territories, yeah, things aren't going so great. If you are a mom who thought the ceasefire meant the end of war and you're seeing your 18-year-old getting ready to take those final exams and graduate in the summer and join the army, yeah, you're a little worried, right? We're all human beings. We're all in this together, even when we don't believe we are. Um, and I think one of the things that I worry about when you have Purim, which is a story of Jewish survival, and then you also have Ramadan at the same time. And we know that Ramadan is sometimes used as um, it's used as a time to encourage violence, right? In all areas, right? Among aggressive settler Israelis, nationalists, right? But also among people who don't honestly have the Palestinians, um, best, you know, best life in mind. I can hardly even talk about this. It hurts me so much. Um, my prayer for Purim slash Ramadan is that we don't lean into the violence, that we understand that the reason why the violence exists is to use literature as a way to relieve ourselves. We have the Book of Esther not so that we can learn the wrong lesson, which is go out and hurt somebody, but so that we can get those feelings out in a healthy and meaningful way. My kid, Javon, the Wonderkin, loves horror movies, loves them. I mean, and I'm telling you, friends, loves them. I mean, we're talking like Rob Zombie level knowledge of horror movies. Um, I tried to test him a little bit. There was a movie when I was a kid called Sleepaway Camp. Okay, this is like vintage, like slasher type stuff. Um, and so he was telling us when we first adopted him, he was telling us about how he likes horror movies. And I said, oh yeah, like Sleepaway Camp. He's like, oh yeah, I've seen that before. I was like, whoa, okay. You really do know your stuff. Uh, but I don't ever assume that there's gonna be like Saw number 2 here, right? Like you're allowed to have catharsis, and literature, film, music, art should be providing that for us. In so much as we have the experience of it, and then what do? The exact opposite. We give food. We give alms to the poor. We celebrate. We lean into joy. I worry that people will be reading the Purim story, hearing the Purim story now, and this will coincide with a time when the mullahs, when the ayatollahs want to um, use the Palestinian people as a vehicle for their own political religious, wanton destruction. And my wish for the Palestinians is that they can have a Book of Esther, that they can have something that provides them that catharsis, and that together we can come together as one people in one land in joy. I don't know how to do that, but that's my hope. So, yeah, heavy stuff. So let's kind of change this up a bit. Let's move into something leaning into joy. So if Purim is about survival joy, if it's about laughter after danger, if it's about choosing generosity instead of vengeance, then we should probably celebrate it. So here we go. Purim begins Monday evening, March 2nd. And yes, I get it. A Monday night. You're like, no, can't we move it to like 2 Saturdays beforehand? No, we can't. Guys, the calendar is what it is. Sometimes you just got to party on a Monday. The most aggressively unmagical night of the week is Monday night. Maybe Tuesday night's worse because you've had a day of working to exhaust you. But I don't know. We all work different schedules, right? I work 80 hours a week, 7 days a week, except for Shabbat. But even then, questionable, right? But here's the thing. We're going to celebrate. You better darn well know we're going to celebrate on Monday, right? Kehila, right here in Midlothian, is taking the opposite approach. Instead of treating Monday night like something we have to survive, like, the Esther story, we're treating it like something to flip. Monday, the day no one celebrates, that no one has joy, is the day we're going to have a lot of fun. So, 2 events, same day. Monday, March 2nd. First, after school Purim on the porch at 3:30 to 5:30. This is a free thing. It is come and go. You don't have to stay for very long. We're starting in the afternoon with something very simple. So if you're getting off work early and you're like, I'm not going to people, like I'm not into the people thing. I just sort of want to get something Purim-y and go. Or if you've got kids and you're like, look, we got soccer practice, then we have ballet practice, then we have chess club, then we have this, because children are way too overprogrammed now, my personal opinion. Interesting that always overprogrammed for all of the non-Jewish things. But whatever, that's my own Zeris. But we want to have you come around, right? This is a relaxed, low-pressure gathering designed for real life. Homework, carpools, tired parents. You don't have time to figure out a costume on a Monday. Come on, I get it. So you can come as a family. You can come with one kid, whatever you want to do. You can make your own mishloach manot gift baskets. So make a bunch of these little gift bags that you can give out to people, right? And that's the key. You have to give it out to people. It's not for you. We'll have these masks. You can paint Purim masks. And yeah, we'll have snacks, afternoon snacks. We'll have hamantashen. You got to have those triangle cookies. We'll have some storytelling booklets and groggers and other things that you can take home and have your own later in the afternoon/evening/whenever celebration. It's free. It's casual. You don't have to stay the whole time. Just come, mark the day. Let your kids experience Jewish joy that isn't rushed and stressful. You just show up, do your thing, have some fun, hang out with the rabbi for 20 minutes, whatever, and then move on. Now, that's 3:30 to 5:30. Then we're going to shift things, and we're going to have Purim in the tiki room. I tell you, sometimes I think about what if we had our own building, or what if we had our own space? What if we rented a spot, like maybe like at Stony Point, like maybe we could get a space there. And I think about it and I'm like, no, actually, probably would be smarter just to open a tiki bar. Because everybody loves the tiki room in our house, and yeah, it's Purim. So like, why not celebrate Purim in a faux Polynesian room? Sure. So Purim in the tiki room is at 6 o'clock until whenever. Adults only. By adult, I mean 21 plus. And here's the thing. We're only going to charge $10 because I get it. It's a Monday, but we're still going to celebrate. Fun fact, if you didn't already know it, Rabbi and Rebbetzin have a tiki bar in their home. Now you know. This is our adult gathering, warm, slightly ridiculous, hospitable, signature cocktails crafted by the rabbi. Because I have a food and beverage background. We're going to have some wine if you're more of a wine person, and also non-alcoholic options. You do not have to drink alcohol, but you deserve a craft cocktail that is non-alcoholic. I have been watching America's Test Kitchen videos, and I am ready to throw down, friend. We'll have a massive grazing table. Of course, we'll have hamantaschen, mask painting for the sort of introverts that want like a craft or an activity to do. And of course, just like the kids, you can make mishloach manot. Costumes, yeah, come in a costume or like come as yourself. We'll have costumes. We'll have like mustaches, like little. You can just like put a mustache on, and that's fine. Um, that's enough of a costume on a Monday. Like I get it. It's $10. And guess what? If you want to volunteer, if you want to help make the kids stuff and our thing happen together, we're just gonna let you come in. We'll give you a free code. You can RSVP as many of your friends as you want. Just come for free. That's totally fine. Because this is a home-based event, the address will be shared with registrants a few days beforehand, right? We want to keep it private. It's intimate, it's joyful, it's a little absurd, and that's Purim, right? So as I take a sip of coffee, I want you to ponder a possibility. Who knows? Who knows? That's the message of Purim. Who knows? I'm almost 100% certain that royalty is not listening to this podcast. I mean, unless they are. God, wouldn't that be cool? Maybe. I don't know. But just as I'm certain that royalty is not listening to this podcast, I'm just as certain that you are 100% amazing at doing something. You are a great mom who wants to help kids. You are a great cook who can feed a crowd. You are a great doctor with a few good years left in them. You're someone who has done a pretty good job at making money. It's just a thing. You know how to do that. And you're ready to leave a legacy. You are here right now for such a purpose. You are royal. You are in a place of malchut, of sovereignty over things that you know how to do in your life. Yes, you are not a king, but you are a king or a queen or a sovereign in your thing, right? Talmud says, like, happy is the person who, rejoices in their lot, right? The person who accepts where they are, not because we want people to be stuck, but because we want people to be able to be their most authentic self and to have joy in that. Have joy in the thing that you can do, not the things you can't do. I am guessing you are not the prime minister of Israel. If you are, Bibi, we got to talk, bro. I am guessing that you don't have trillions of dollars at your disposal. Like, it's kind of unlikely, but you got something. And now's the time. Now is the time to give your time. We need it here. We need your help. Now is the time to share your talents. Kahila cares. Do you know how to do something in a professional capacity? Right? Are you a doctor? Are you a lawyer? Are you someone who understands how nonprofits work? Are you someone who can tutor a kid? Are you someone who knows how to raise the money? Are you someone who knows how a business can be started? Are you someone who just physically is good at certain things, right? Right, we need your talents. If anything, we need your love and your care. You can join us at Chesed now, right? Thank you, Edva, for getting that started. We have a Chesed committee. It's not up on the website yet as of the recording of this, but we're working on it. We literally have a group of people whose only job it is to do good. And you could be one of those people. Now is the time to share your time. Now is the time to share your talents. Now is the time to give. In this holy month of Adar, where we are meant to increase joy, we need your support. Here's what I love about Purim. So Mordecai, he's like the proverbial secular Jew, right? He's a Larry David Jew, not a Rebbe Nachman Jew, right? He is that schnorrer guy who eats all of the lox at the bar mitzvah and complains about politics the whole time. He's that guy. He's that kind of guy. He doesn't know anything about religion. In fact, in a really deep dive in this story, you actually find these people don't even know when Passover is, right? Now, the rabbis, they figured out a way to wiggle out of that one, but I mean, honestly, they didn't know. Um, you know, Mordecai speaking to Esther, and therefore speaking to all of us in this story. You know who you are. You are Jewish, and that means something, even when it's detached from formal worship, from formal practice, right? You are a good Jew. You belong to a peoplehood even when you don't participate. And you have something to share. You have something to give. Don't waste it. Because trouble always lurks around the corner of Jewish life. And we have to be Esther. We need to use our positions of power, whatever they are, to make the world better, to multiply joy. So, my question to you, as was posed to me by the very important Dr. Larry Kuttner, how would you like to put your values into action in ways you can't do alone? That's the pitch. That is the pitch of Purim. How would you like to put your values into action, Esther? And she didn't do it alone. Yes, she started the thing, but it took armies of Jews at the end, right? Putting our values into action in ways that you can't do alone. So I'm asking you, friend, person listening right now, could you, in honor of Purim, and as is our custom, give a gift to Kehillah? Perhaps, as Mordecai says, who knows? Maybe you're here for such a time as this. Love you to go on the website, kehilahrva.org/donate. We got a bunch of links here. Could use your help. And then also, Chag Sameach.